Hey travelers, Mag and I here on day 173 of our trip around the United States. We're about halfway through our route from yesterday, which is pretty much exactly where I thought we would be. We finished the night off in Grenada, and we're kicking things off here in Coffeeville. And what a way to bring things back around than to start the morning off here at a memorial to a Marine who served in Vietnam. It really fits with what we had yesterday from the story from William Bramlett and his time serving in the 101st while he was in Vietnam as well. From here, we're going to be proceeding west across the state until we hit Rosedale. From Rosedale, we're going to drop south and then start back east on our zigzag. We're going to finish up today's route in the early afternoon, no problems there. From there, we're going to start into tomorrow's route. Tomorrow's route calls for 320 miles as we continue to make our way east steadily across the state, and then once again drop south and head back west again. We're obviously not going to finish that entire route. We're a half day off kilter now, but that's really not going to last. No matter what, by the time we get to the end of Mississippi, we're going to catch back up on our time before we head on over to Texas. We have a lot of great geocaches in store for today, and I'm looking forward to having the miles on our side with an easy pace, knowing that if we take a little longer than necessary, no problem. We'll just fall back on our time and get back on the normal schedule. Let's see what today has in store. Come on, let's go.
Driving through Mississippi today felt a lot like driving through the roads in Florida. We saw virtually no elevation changes whatsoever as we made our way steadily west out of Grenada, through Coffeeville, and toward the western edge of the state. We did see quite a few geocaches, however. At one point in time, this one had been a birdhouse. It must have flown the coop though, because this medicine bottle is all that's left. We really didn't encounter the same kind of hide twice. Each time we came to a new ground zero, it was a different kind of container in a different kind of hiding spot. None of them proved overly challenging though, so Aichan and I were able to keep moving along from one find to the next without any delays.
For 4 days driving around Texas, I hear Skeletor telling me, "Right turn, Clyde. Right turn, Clyde." I'm glad that I listened to him because apparently somebody else didn't follow those instructions and they must have made a left turn. I listened to what Skeletor 10 told me, and that will always bring me to the geocache we are seeking. Thank you, Skeletor.
There were several interesting things to see along the way, but they weren't grouped in any one particular area. As we passed through a small town or along a country road, we'd spot something interesting. That was the case when we came across this small home just outside of Charleston. While investigating, we learned it had been the home of Scissors, a very large hog that weighed between 1,200 and 1,800 pounds. Even though this gigantic pig's time to shine in the spotlight was over 100 years ago, his memory lives on in his home. Our winning stop for the day came when we reached the city of Leland in Washington County. Here you will find the Rainbow Connection Bridge along Old Highway 61 crossing over Deer Creek. This bridge became well known after the release of the Muppet movie in 1979. Along the course of Deer Creek, on both sides of the Rainbow Connection Bridge, you will find several holiday displays all ready to be lit up at night. Each of these holiday displays is hosted by a local organization with an informational sign along the bank letting you know who placed it. As you make your way along Deer Creek, Kermit begins to take over, which is no surprise since this is the birthplace of Kermit the Frog. And once you make your way along the Deer Creek from the Rainbow Connection Bridge to the end, you'll be able to visit the birthplace of Kermit the Frog Museum. The Jim Henson exhibit is housed in the former Washington County Tourist Center, which is the Leland Chamber of Commerce building. The exhibit was donated by the Jim Henson Company as a gift to the people of Leland, offering free admission to all who visit. It is often thought that Kermit was named after Henson's childhood friend, Kermit Scott. Whether he was named after Scott or not, the inspiration for Kermit's character and the Muppet series originated from Leland. Jim Henson had grown up in the area and spent his childhood playing among the local flora and fauna. All of those experiences melded together into the characters he would one day create. This small museum holds a multitude of puppets and memorabilia that honor Jim Henson's creation of Kermit the Frog. His work was instrumental in a lot of the children's programming that we still view today, particularly Sesame Street, which in 1969 he helped to develop the Muppet characters that are still used on that series today. Although Henson's life was cut short at the young age of 53 in 1990, his legacy will live on through his work. In 1991, just a year after his death, he was posthumously inducted into the Hollywood Walk of Fame. There he is honored both as himself and as Kermit the Frog, a distinction that only 3 other people have ever received: Walt Disney as Mickey Mouse, Mel Blanc as Bugs Bunny, and Mike Myers as Shrek. Even my kids would have run across Jim Henson's work at the Muppet Vision 3D in Hollywood Studios Disney. It was his final film released and his last voicing of Kermit the Frog.
Yep, the survey says I definitely have issues. That is one of the most rickety looking bridges I have seen in my travels, and still that little voice inside of me says, cross it, jump on it. No, Mag, that's probably not the best idea here.
Following our tour of the birthplace of the Frog Museum, we made our way into the heart of Sunflower County within the Mississippi Delta region in the county seat of Indianola. Here you will get to learn all about Albert King, better known as B.B.King. He was a famous American blues guitarist, singer, songwriter, and record producer. He's well known for introducing a sophisticated style of soloing based on fluid string bending, shimmering vibrato, and staccato picking that influenced many later blues electric guitar players. We jammed our way out of Indianola to the sound of electric guitars as we hit the long country roads ahead of us. One of the geocaches that we needed to find was located at an old cemetery. But it was one of those kinds of cemeteries where time has tried to take it back. I always find these the most interesting and couldn't help myself but to wade through the tall grass and see who is remembered here. And surprisingly, these were some rather fresh-looking headstones too. Then we were right back on to the lonely, flat country roads once again. It was at this point that I was expressing my gratitude for my new tires, as the sand on this road was very soft. I could feel them gripping steadily, allowing us to make our way all the way to Greenwood, the county seat of LaFleur County. Here we stopped off to find every single geocache located within town, all one of them. As humorous as I find it that there is only one geocache located within this county seat, I am still grateful that it was there, however, because it gave us an opportunity to claim the county.
Someone once said, this is why we can't have nice things. Muggles come and they break the birdhouse, but at least we still have a log to sign here.
By the time we reached the city of Winona, the art and soul of Mississippi, the sun was already beginning to set down on another day. This gave Aichan and I the perfect opportunity to enjoy a nice stroll through the park and bring things to a close.
All right, and there we have it. The sun is setting down on us on our 3rd full day here in Mississippi. Today was a nice, quiet, calm day. There wasn't a lot of unexpected things happening, and we found all of the geocaches we were searching for without issue. We made our way from Grenada in the morning to start things off in Coffeeville. We came all the way west to the edge of the state, circled back around basically one row of counties, and then started our way east again. We've made it all the way here to Winona, and this is where our light fails us. From here in Winona, we're going to push forward and reach Starkville by the end of the night. Once we get to Starkville, we're going to bed down and wait till the morning, and we're going to start with that webcam first thing. Because if I'm going to do the only webcam in the state of Mississippi, I want a good photo on that thing. It's kind of a funny thing to think about explaining to somebody who doesn't really understand geocaching how I took all day long to come from Grenada, Mississippi to Winona, Mississippi. Because if you look at them on the map, it is directly south from Winona, heading up to Grenada. It shouldn't take all that long. But in this game, we never go anywhere in a straight line. I hope you guys enjoyed today's tour. We've still got another 4 days in Mississippi before we start on our way to Texas. Already, it is getting warmer as we continue to move south, which was exactly the goal. With winter now here, we wanted to be as far south as humanly possible to definitely avoid any snow, but to get the warmest temperatures we possibly could. And we're not going to do any better than we are here in Mississippi or moving our way through southern Texas. Like this video, subscribe to stay tuned for daily updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.